Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to another Dolls I Don't Want video. If you haven't seen these videos from me before, the title does kind of explain it all. It's where I talk about dolls that have either come out recently or are going to be coming out soon that I don't plan on buying, because I tend to make reviews on dolls that I do like because I want them in my collection. And so that's like how I talk about those dolls. But the dolls that I don't like, I can't simply stay quiet about. I have to give you all my opinions still, like just absolutely unsolicited. And so that is what this series of videos is for. This one has been quite a long time coming. I feel like there were a lot of doll announcements that weren't stock photos in like the time since the last time I made one of these videos. And I never use non-stock photos just because A, sometimes the dolls do change, and then B, I don't want to get my videos taken down. So I was like waiting to do this because I kept thinking, okay, maybe we'll get more stock photos of like such and such particular doll. And some of them we have, some of them we haven't. But at this point, it's been so long and there are so many other dolls that we do have stock photos for that I wanted to talk about that I figured I would just go ahead and make another video. So there are quite a few dolls to get through today. So we'll go ahead and pop right on into that. If you do find yourself enjoying, if you could like, comment, subscribe, all of that typical stuff. And then if you want to go out of your way to support me, I do have in my description box links, and then PO box and all of that fun jazz. But yeah, without further ado, let's talk about the dolls that I personally won't be purchasing. Alrighty, so we're going to be kicking it off with a new brand of dolls, and that is the Unicorn Academy dolls. I believe this is a tie-in to, I want to say it's a show or a movie on Netflix, and I think that's already out, like you can already watch the media for it. The dolls, I believe, are available on Amazon, at least in some countries, but yeah, I was waiting for like better pictures before I talked about them. Before we got images, I was like cautiously curious about the brand, like, I just never know what to expect from a new doll brand. And so I'm like, oh, Unicorn Academy, that could be interesting. Looking at the dolls, I definitely don't think that they are terrible. They don't look like bad dolls, but I just don't think that they are for me. I don't even know the name of this character that I have like an image for you. This is like my favorite out of the ones that are releasing thus far. But even so, I just don't see myself liking this doll enough to purchase them. So, kind of disappointing. Maybe they'll release something in the future that I'll be more into. But yeah, for me, it's not that I think it's an ugly doll or like it looks like it's low quality or anything like that. I just am not really interested. Second up for today is another new brand, and those are the Love Dolls, LUV, which stands for Limitless, Unique, and Vibrant. And these I have a little bit more to say about. I was, again, much like the Unicorn Academy dolls, curious about this when we kind of heard about them, but actually seeing the dolls, sadly, I am just not into it. I feel like the picture that I have that it will be on screen for you guys doesn't really show off the face that well, but I have seen a couple of unboxings of these dolls, and personally, I think that the face just is not for me. I tend to like better when dolls have like some sort of sculpt around the eyes instead of just like a flat printed eye. And from what I've been able to see like from the unboxing videos, obviously I haven't seen one in person, so I'm not 100% sure, but the face printing on the eyes looks much more flat. It doesn't look as sculpted, and to me it just looks a little bit less detailed and a little bit more lifeless. The nice thing that I will say about these dolls is that the quality of the clothing, from what I have heard from other people, is really, really good. There tend to be a lot of clothing pieces on these dolls, and apparently the construction is quite nice. However, not a single one of them is one that I like the clothing of. And even there are fashion packs coming out, and I'm excited about the presence of fashion packs because like I think that's just a cool thing to have in like doll aisles, is just fashion packs so you don't have to buy a whole doll to get an outfit. But even those, like, I'm just not a fan of. I have seen a few people say that these dolls look like they are dressed like old school Disney Channel TV shows. And I definitely agree. I just feel like all of them feel really overdone, and the pieces don't necessarily feel like they match to me. It's just a lot happening, and not in like the fun, over the top kind of way, but just in like a what on earth is going on kind of way, at least in my opinion. I think I forgot to give my opinion disclaimer. These are just my opinions. You're absolutely allowed to disagree with me as long as you can be polite about it. But yeah, I think that honestly, if I'm like not filtering myself and not trying to be nice, I think that these dolls look like an absolute hot mess. So yeah, I won't be buying these. I would be interested to see what they do in the future, especially with the fashion packs, because like I said, I don't particularly like the faces of these dolls. But if they make fashion packs that are of the same quality and like have different and to me better styles down the line, I think that's definitely something to look forward to. But for now, for their like initial release, I'm not buying any of this. Next up on the shopping block is the Magic Mixies Pixlings. So they have a few different lines of dolls that are going to be coming out. And if you have seen this channel for like any amount of time, you probably know that I really like the Pixlings. I don't think they're in frame, but I have a few up on the shelf up there. I think they're absolutely precious dolls. I understand the unboxing is like not for everybody and it is a lot of waste, but the dolls themselves I think are so, so beautiful. So I'm kind of sad that I have a few that I have to talk about in a dolls I don't want video, but there are some that just aren't quite hitting for me. So first of all, from the Shimmerverse series, we have Marina, who I believe was the mermaid from the original releases, but like, you know, she's got a new design for this one. I don't think she's terrible, like by any means. I don't think that she's particularly ugly, but when I look at her, I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to have this in my collection. Like I don't feel drawn to her either. So like she's totally fine. I don't think that there's anything wrong or ugly about her. I just don't think I like her enough to justify spending the money on her. Next up, we have from also the Shimmerverse, the Fae doll, who again is an already existing character, and I have her original doll. I don't think that this redesign is as good. Unlike Marina, I do think that like I kind of just don't like this one, which is so sad to say because I think that's like the first time that I've really had to say I don't like it to a Pixlings doll, because most of the other ones that I haven't bought, it's just been like, yeah, it's really not for me, but I think it's cute. I don't like this one. I feel like even compared again to Marina, who's from the same line, she just looks a little bit cheaper. Like her molded on top doesn't seem to have as much detail, and I don't think that her skirt looks as nice. So for me, this version of Fae is going to be a skip. And then lastly, from the Shimmerverse line of the Pixlings is a new character, and that is Catelyn, which is, I mean, kind of a basic cat name, but that's okay. Catelyn. I can't decide on her. I'm tentatively putting her on this list because I'm not sure that I'm going to get her. I love cats so much to the point where it's like kind of unreasonable. So you'd think that a doll like this would be right up my alley. I don't know what it is. Like I can't place what it is when I'm looking at her. I'm just not 100% sold. So I might like wait and kind of marinate on this one and kind of take my time to think over with this one. This one's not as 100% as the others. There is a chance that I'll end up buying this doll, but there's also a chance that I won't, so she had to be featured here. Then not from the Shimmerverse, but just from like a series 2 of the Magic Mixies Pixlings, we have Bear Linda, who a lot of people are really going crazy for, and I completely understand why. This doll is very much giving like Care Bear vibes for sure, and if that's your vibe, that is great, and I can understand why someone would like this doll. It's just not really for me personally. Like I think she is cute. She's just not what I want to have in my collection, so no hard feelings for her, but I won't be buying her. Then moving away from the Pixlings, we are going to be talking about a couple of Barbie releases. I don't talk about every single Barbie release in these videos just because Barbie is always pumping out something, and for the most part, I don't really have super strong opinions about it, so I kind of just include Barbie in these videos when it's something of note to me, and I have two things of note that I wanted to talk about. So first off is there are 3 Barbie style fashion packs available on Mattel Creations now, and I just wanted to touch on these because they are a much higher quality than like a Playline Barbie fashion pack. I still am not obsessed. The only one that out of the 3 that I even would consider getting is the pink one in the middle of the photo that you'll see up here. I do think it's cute. I feel like these are probably higher quality fashions, and that's super, but I don't have like that many Barbies, especially that many Barbies that I want to redress. Like most of the Barbies that I do have, I want to stay in the outfit that they came in. And, you know, obviously you can share clothing with like some doll brands, but it's not going to be as perfect a fit and all of that stuff. And it's also $25 for the outfit. And again, I understand that it is like a higher quality situation, but to me, it's just not worth it. If they ever did another release and it was something that was really like in my style and I was obsessed with the outfit, maybe I would shell out the cash for it. But for something that I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not bad, I'm not going to spend $25 on it. And then especially the other 2, the one with like the houndstooth and then the kind of sporty one, those I can never ever see myself using, so I'm obviously not going to get them. And then the other Barbie release that I wanted to touch on was the, oh gosh, is it Cartel? Is that the brand that they collabed with to make the set of chairs? I don't even remember. I just, I just don't get it, if I'm being 100% honest with you. These are really, really expensive pieces of plastic, and like I get that there is a name brand attached to it, but I think they're like $60. I'll put on screen here like if I'm incorrect about any of the information, because God forbid I think about that before I need to film the video and like come prepared. But yeah, they're really expensive. I don't even know if they're in stock anymore, but it's 5 chairs that you get, and I just don't in any capacity think it's worth it. Like, is it a cute way to display dolls? Absolutely. Can I find them cheaper somewhere else? Also, absolutely. So yeah, not for me. And that brings us to the main event. Another reason that I had been putting off doing this video is because there were just so many Monster High dolls that I wanted to include on the video. And I didn't want it to be literally just Monster High dolls. So I was waiting for like other brands to come out with stock photos. So now obviously we've gone through the other brands, but I still have a huge chunk of Monster High dolls to get through. So bear with me. It's going to be a very Monster High heavy video. The first one is the newest Monster High release, and that is the Skeletor creature from the Black Lagoon. And honestly, I think this is a solid doll. That's the only reason I didn't make a dedicated video on it. Almost always with the Skeletor releases, I end up making a dedicated video because typically I have a lot of feelings about the release and they're not positive. But with this one, genuinely, I don't have a problem. It's on today's video, like the dolls I don't want video, because I didn't buy it. I didn't see the movie because like I generally just don't really watch horror movies. And while I think it's a pretty doll, I just don't think that I like it enough to want to buy it. But that being said, I don't have any super intense negative feelings. Like, I think that the overall design is fun and cohesive and looks pretty. I love the fact that there's a like fun stand that comes with this doll instead of just like a standard Monster High stand. I like that this one is more decorative and kind of has a little bit of scenery to it so that if you do display the doll out of box, it just looks a little bit more put together for a collector doll. And also this doll is, or did retail, I should say, because it's definitely sold out by now, but it did retail for $65 US as opposed to the higher price points that I feel like I'm used to seeing with collector dolls. So I really just appreciate that. I feel like the price point is more reasonable than typical from Mattel Creations. I think the design is really nice. I like the stand. So like all good stuff. Like everything is solid. I just didn't personally feel that drawn to her, but yeah, that's why she didn't get a dedicated video, is because I didn't have enough to complain about. So I'm not buying her, but I totally understand if y'all did. Then we have the second round of the Cree Productions. I didn't get any of these. I did think about getting the Cleo Induced 2-pack, but my thing is like, I really only wanted Cleo, and it's not that I dislike the original Deuce doll, but I'm okay not having him or a reproduction in my collection, and so I didn't want to spend, I can't remember if it was $50 or $60, but I didn't want to spend the money to get the 2-pack when I really only wanted one. And realistically speaking, I'm also okay not having the original Cleo in my collection. Like, I would like to have her, but it doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, like I have to get her someday. Like my collection won't be complete if I don't have her. That's not the feeling she evokes in me. And so I just decided that it wasn't worth it. And then with the others, I did consider getting Abby and then Spectra kind of as backups, because I do have their original dolls back here. Probably with the way that I'll have to edit this, like have the images on screen, you won't be able to see. But they're on my shelves back here. I have them. And I thought it would be cool to keep them since they are some of like my favorite older Monster High dolls. But I just wasn't, I don't know, I just wasn't sure. Abby especially, like Spectra I would have gotten because she was the doll that made me start collecting, but I didn't like the fact that she has like the polypropylene hair, and like I understand that's kind of a small thing in the grand scheme of things to be upset about, and like I totally understand why a lot of other people got the Cree Productions despite the fact that it's poly hair, because for a lot of people this is like the way to get that doll. But since I already have the original, I just didn't feel like I would feel satisfied with the way the Cree Production was done. I hope that makes sense. So in the end, I just didn't get any of them, saved my money. I figure there are more new Monster High dolls from G3 that are coming out that I feel more enthused about, that like I would feel better spending my money on them. So thought about it, didn't do it. Then another collector doll was the, like Out of Fright Operetta. It was the Fang Club doll. I did do a whole video on her because I did have a lot more negative opinions on her, so I won't like go into everything here. But basically, she's just not for me. I don't like the overall design, so I didn't buy this doll. Then we are moving into G3, so like the more playline Monster High dolls. And the first one is another re-release of the Ghoulmobile, the car that comes with Draculaura and Claudine. Although, at least it is a repaint of the car, like it's a different color this time. They do come with accessories like suitcases and bags and some extra clothing pieces, and I think all of that is cool. Claudine especially, I think her hair for this doll is really, really beautiful. But just in general, like I don't like the car. I mean, the suitcases are cute, but I don't really have any need for them. The outfits that they come in, I think, are fine, but honestly, mostly unremarkable. So just in general, like, yes, there are things that I like about this set, but not enough for me to want to buy it. So I'll be skipping out on that. Then from the Fearbook line? Yeah, the Fearbook line of G3. I have talked about Twyla briefly, and I definitely want to get her, so she's not featured in the video. But the other two dolls from the line, I don't plan on buying. The first one is Draculaura, and I do think that she looks absolutely cute. I think her jacket is really nice, and the two-piece set is quite cute. Even the shoes I think are really fun, like the chunky sneakers I'm a really big fan of. But just overall, I don't know, like the beret, I already have the first series, Skulltimate Secrets Draculaura that has the same beret in a different color. I just don't feel like I have to have her. You know, like there's a lot of cute pieces to this. And honestly, if this was like a fashion pack instead of another doll, I probably would be buying it. But I don't feel like I need the doll itself or some of the accessories that she comes with. So even though she's cute, she doesn't have to be a part of my collection. And I do kind of feel the same way about Toralei, although I definitely dislike Toralei more. She's okay. Like, I don't think that she's outright ugly, but no part of me is like, I want to spend money on her. So I'll be skipping out on her as well. Ooh, okay. This is going to be a hot take. I haven't said this, I think, anywhere really. Like I've kind of alluded to it, but I haven't out and out said it. I feel like a lot of people are super excited for Series 4 of Skulltimate Secrets, and I'm just not. I really want it to be, but I just can't get behind it. They're kind of like music inspired. Originally they were supposed to be like ballet inspired, but definitely I'm getting a lot less ballet and a lot more like performer in general from them. Starting off with Cleo here, I like her chest piece. She has these really cool fishnets that they all do have that have little like glitter pieces in them, and I like her shoes. But other than that, I don't like the more casual pieces that she comes with. The bodysuit is kind of whatever to me. And I don't like enough of it to want to buy her. And that's kind of the general theme with my thoughts on this line in general, is like every single doll I like pieces of, but there's no doll that I'm like, I like enough pieces to justify buying this. Abby is up next. And honestly, I would buy just the base doll of Abby because I think that her hair blend is really, really pretty. But again, like the shorts that she comes with, I don't care for. The like leg warmers are kind of cute, but then the like more actually ballet inspired shoes that yeah, I'm kind of at a loss for words. Like they're supposed to definitely be kind of reminiscent of point shoes, but the way that they're like the platforms just looks very strange to me. I don't know. I want to like this line. Like Draculaura is cute, I guess. I don't know. I just don't feel anything. Claudine, I like her tights a lot. Like I think in particular the gold glitter on the like kind of fishnet tights looks really good on her, especially because it looks like they did use a different color fishnet to actually match her skin tone, so like it blends in really well, and I think it's very beautiful and very well done. And like I like her hair and everything, I like her makeup, but I just don't like any of the clothing really on any of these dolls. So as much as so many people are anticipating this drop, I simply am not, and I don't plan on buying any of them. Almost done, I promise. We are popping back to the collector realm for just 1 minute. The last Off-White doll came out. This one was Symphony. She was a lot of people's favorites, and frankly, I don't get it. Like, I like the idea of her. She's got a cool dress. I like the lime green accents. I love the concept of the, like, transparent face with the skull underneath. I think that's amazing. But the fact that they spray painted on a widow's peak instead of rooting her hair into a widow's peak, I think looks absolutely atrocious, especially for a doll that is that expensive. So yeah, I didn't get her. I wouldn't get her anyway. I didn't get any of the Off-White dolls because they were so expensive. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that, I guess. And then the last thing to touch on today is that Monster High is releasing not like dolls, but little figurines that are going to be, I believe, mystery figurines in like a little potion bottle. And I think there might be some sort of reveal aspect. Don't hold me to that though. I don't plan on getting these. Like, they're fine. I just don't feel super strongly about any of them. I will say what I don't like is that I'm sure it's like for budget purposes, obviously, but the dolls' hair and the dolls' faces are quite cute, but then all of their clothing and their shoes is like one solid color, and it just looks very odd to me. And like there's a lot of molded on detail, but it's all one solid color, and it just kind of looks bad if I'm being 100% honest. I don't know. I guess these are cute for someone else, but like for me, they're really unnecessary. Whew, that is finally it. I feel like I've been talking for so long, especially about Monster High. There were so many Monster High releases to get through, but we are finally done and we are finally updated. And maybe when I do the next video, I'll do it in a more timely fashion. But I say that every time and I never really do. So, but yeah, that's all that I have for you guys today. As always, I would definitely love to hear your thoughts on the dolls that I talked about today. Do you agree with me? Do you think these like weren't solid? Or are you like, you listed all of my favorite dolls and this is terrible? I hope not, but like, it might happen. Either way, I'm just very curious to hear what you guys think. But otherwise, I hope you're able to enjoy the video. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night, whatever it might be. And I will catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.